Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men cannot put Humpty Dumpty together again. What's up, guys? This is Eric Broadus back again with another video. And obviously, you see I have Humpty Dumpty up there, and I have him on top of a square. And so the title of this video is going to be called Stay on Your Square. Stay on your square. Now, ebonically, that may be considered an ebonic term, or stay on point, to mean stay, basically in plain layman's terms, it means to stay focused. And if you see up there, I have Humpty Dumpty, obviously, and I have him on this small square. Now, everybody knows the story of Humpty Dumpty. He was obviously on a wall high up, and I guess you could say maybe lifted up. And you know, I talked about different things in life, how when we have certain goals that we accomplish, or when we reach certain levels in life. And for this one, I think I'll say maybe a certain level of status. So Humpty Dumpty, sitting high up on that wall, was looking down at everybody else. And I think I saw some of the images on Google. I haven't seen this story or thought about it in years. And I think there was a girl or somebody handing him, and he reached down to grab something, I think. And basically, Humpty lost his balance, and he had a long way down. And when he fell and hit the ground, basically he fell apart. And everybody was trying to, all the king's horses and all the king's men, they tried to do whatever they could, meaning the subjects or people, try to put them together again, but it couldn't be done. And so when we know this right here is a kid's story, and it's very common, but it also has meaning in real adult life. Now, as far as I know, Humpty Dumpty is not based on the true story. You know, that I am not sure of. But when you see that box up there, you see how small it is. What that box represents is, I would say, it represents a combination of different things. It represents time and opportunity. And if we don't stay focused, we only have but so much time and but so many opportunities. A square has four sides to it, and you can look at that box and the square, depending on how you count it. You know, some may think and say, okay, he's got four. Well, some may say you have six sides to it. Either way, it's limited. There's only so much space on each side, and so in life, if we don't stay focused on whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish, it's easy to fall off our square. And when I'm talking about your square, I mean, it can be I had a video where I talked about what was the name of that video again? Anyway, I talked about what most of our lives will revolve around, which was I said time management, relationships, and finances. And when you look at that square right there, that square is very small. So if it only has supposedly six sides to it total, supposedly, because you're counting the top and the bottom. So if that is all the sides that Humpty has, if he doesn't stay focused, if he falls off of it, whichever way you flip this square, if he falls off of it, that's a representation of our lives, or everything we worked for, our dreams falling apart. And in this life, like I said, I mean, life is definitely tough enough as it is. It's going to have its share of challenges, and ultimately, our lives are what we choose to make them. And we have to capitalize on the opportunities, but we can't capitalize on opportunities if we're distracted. And I said before that an opportunity is like someone you're waiting on at a bus stop, and you're waiting for your bus stop, or you're waiting at a train station, and you're waiting for your train to pull in. And if you get distracted, you could miss that train, and that same train that was going to your destination, it may not come back again. And so, as you see here with Humpty, Humpty had made it to the top, but he lost his focus, got lifted up, and he was all frolicking. He wasn't focused, and so when he got distracted, he lost his balance. And as human beings, we are not robots, and we all have a certain element of fragileness to us. And if there's anything that I have learned, and I used to hear this from when I was young, and my dad and other older folks would say this. They said, "Ain't nothing, everything you can't learn from a book, and there's no teacher like experience. There's nothing like life experience." And some things you could read about, or with today's technology, watch it on social media, but some things you're not going to know anything about until you actually go through it. And there is no greater teacher than life. Life teaches us all a lesson. In life, we all have, ups and downs, peaks and valleys, highs and lows. And hopefully, from those, life lessons that we've been taught, we gain experience, and hopefully we learn from it. Yes, Humpty Dumpty. And when I think about this little rhyme here, and I think about Humpty Dumpty, him sitting on the wall, the air is always thin at the top. And there's a saying that goes that you don't forget where you come from, because the same people you meet on your way going up are the same people you're going to meet on your way going down. So just because you make it to the top, you have to do whatever it takes to stay there. Because being number one, now you have a target on your back. And I mean, that goes for any area of life. If it's in a relationship, if you want that relationship to grow and want it to flourish, and you want it to be good, that means that something has to be invested in it. We have to pour something into something in order to get an output. You cannot expect to have something of value if you don't put anything in. And even when you do gain something of value, you have to have a spirit of humility, because if you're lifted up in pride and you become so arrogant and you begin to look down on others, just always remember there's somebody that's always on top of you. So just because you get to the top, doesn't necessarily mean you'll stay there if you don't keep your focus. So we have to be humble and keep our focus so we can hold it all together. And that's in every stage of life. If you don't keep your focus and you waste your time, then you may wind up, with a bunch of could have been, should have been, shoulda, woulda, coulda. There's no sadder thing for someone to have potential and not to reach it. But if you don't stay on your square, that can easily happen. What are some of the things that can prevent us from reaching our goals? And then when we get on top of the mountain, what are some things that can distract us and cause us to fall and it all fall apart? Let's see. Let me start with young folks. Let's see. For young folks, there are illicit activities. Anything from wrongful behavior, not studying in school or learning all that you can. Also, illicit drugs, unwanted pregnancies. Let's see, alcoholism, cyberbullying. There's a host of things. And I know for young people, it's definitely harder, because with this era that we're living in, with this social media and technology, there's so much that's going on within it's like within a blink of an eye. And so I definitely feel for young people coming up these days, because things have become so technologically advanced. And with all this AI, I mean, there's a lot of changes that have come. So young people, I think in today's time, I think in a lot of ways in some ways they have more to deal with. In some ways, yeah, technology, they have the conveniences, but there's also more distractions that come with it. So for the young people, I would definitely, if you have goals that you want to reach in life, I would definitely recommend staying focused. Stay away from the wrong types of crowd or the wrong types of people. Know how to choose your friends wisely. Be aware of people, places, and things. Don't be caught in the in the wrong place at the wrong time. And this includes, certain environments. Now, granted, if you're young and obviously under your parents' rule, you don't have control over where you live. But what you can do is do your best to, keep your nose clean and keep your head low, and make the most of your education and stay constructively occupied. And I don't mind, as they say, is the devil's workshop. So, you want to stay out of trouble. Saying don't mess your future up by getting yourself in trouble. You don't want to wind up in juvie or getting felonies. I mean, it's just like you don't need that, for your life. So you want to maintain your focus and obey your parents. Your parents are their age because they were once your age before, so they have garnered life experiences. They've gone to the school of hard knocks, and so they have they've been where you're trying to go. They've already been. Now, for those of us that are in the adult world, and for adults, I guess you could say 18 and above, but I really would be talking about the 20s. But we'll say 18 and above, because that's considered the legal age of consent when we can be on our own in the workforce, etc., etc. For those of us that are in the adult world, we have to maintain our focus, because let me go through this in stages here, okay? For most of us that are not rich, we have to get out and hustle and get on our grind to make our money. Now, granted, we can invest our money and build some assets and wealth and resources over time. But the crazy part about it, and now this goes even to those that are at the top of the food chain for the rich. Even though you could build wealth and assets, if you don't keep your focus and keep up with your money, you can also lose it. I know of, like I said, of a millionaire and people that were high status professionals that wound up homeless. How did it happen? Something has to happen. And what this millionaire told me, he said that he had lost everything. And like I said, I told the story before, sleeping on the bridge for 4 years. For 4 years under a bridge. So he lost everything. But he said his second time around, what he learned to do is to make sure that he moves his money at least, I think he does something like, maybe he said once or twice a week, or he checks up on it at least once or twice a week. And so that way, when he would have an audit, he's able to keep track of where his funds had went. Now, I don't know the full story of what happened, how he lost his wealth, but by the grace of God, he was able to recover, and he's back wealthy today. But what he said, that he learned not to put all his eggs in one basket. He diversified his portfolio into different type of assets. So as he called it, so if you get a dry season or a recession or a famine does come, then he'd have assets that he can sell and liquidate for cash, or that you can so to speak, that are of value, that you can trade with. And so that's coming from those at the top of the food chain. And so for a majority of us, we're not rich. So anything below that category, if that goes for the wealthy, then what do you think that means for us? You know, you have to stay on your square and be focused. Watch out for people, places, and things. And when you're on your way up to the top, or when you have something successful going, you know, you'll find that, you know, it's just amazing that when you were working hard to build it, it's like, didn't nobody want to put their hands in the pot? Or, you know, didn't nobody want to grind with you? And that's to be expected, you know. Most people going to talk a good game, but they ain't going to want to grind with you. But once you accomplish that goal or whatever it is that you have that's successful, then all of a sudden people pop up out of the woodworks. And it don't matter whether it's a relationship, you know, some people or some of the opposite sex don't want to be bothered with you until they see that you married or you have somebody that's worthwhile. Can you dig that? You know, some people just go to bust up other people's relationships, you know, because they knockoffs. And you see that look on Humpty's face with that eyebrow raise. He's like, yeah. You know, he's agreeing with me. Like, yeah. But, you know, those are just certain examples. You know, stay on your square. Don't let nobody cause you to lose, or anything cause you to lose your focus. And it can happen. We all get cloudy judgment at times, but hey, we got to shake out the cobwebs. You know what I'm saying? Dust it back off. And unlike Humpty, as human beings, we can get back up, you know, if it's not too late, and we can put the pieces back together again. Stay on your square. You know, stay focused. You know, life is like that square. There's only so many sides to it, and there's only, if you were to take that square and lengthen it out, that's a representation of life. There's only so much time or a season. So we have to make the most of it. Stay on your square. Stay focused. You know. And ain't that right, Humpty? Well, all right then. But guys, that's all I have for this video. But this is food for thought. Stay on your square, not somebody else's. Your square. That means that focus on what it is that you should be doing and what you need to do to be successful in your life. You know, stop worrying about other people, because believe you me, they ain't worried about you. You know, so whatever it is, relationship, finances, whatever, you know, personal growth, you know, it requires some focus. You got to get focused. You got to focus on it if you expect to develop and expect it to grow. Stuff that just doesn't happen by happenstance. This is not the lottery. You know, or where you just roll the dice like you in Vegas and you hope it happens. You know what I'm saying? Hope won't accomplish anything. We gotta get from hoping and get down to doing. But stay on your square. Stay on your square, folks. But that's all I have for this this video. Again, stay on your square, and my channel is Eric Broadus YouTube. That's EricBroadus YouTube. Or you can just go ericbroadusyoutube.com. But you know, subscribe to my channel, tap the bell so you can get future subscriptions and podcasts, and also have an audio podcast channel called Snacks Thought. And I will be downloading some more podcasts. I'll probably do that tomorrow, because I got something podcast that I want to download on Snacks Thoughts. But I'm on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify. So come on over there, subscribe, and check me out. But please share the video. Please share my channel, and also, guys, get in the comment section if you can on my YouTube channel. Now, for those of you, in order to get the comments, you're gonna have to you'd have to either go to a computer or either go to your cell phone and scroll all the way down to the bottom and hit me up with a comment, so we can start dialoguing, because I'm getting ready to fire them out. So I got some stuff. Hey, let's have that conversation. You know, let's have that conversation. But again, it's Eric Brothers YouTube, and I thank you guys for those that have subscribed for supporting me. I thank you guys for your time and for watching it. And I will see you on the next video. Again, stay on your square. Don't let nobody or anything distract you. Peace.